has a reverse auction. Can you explain
Yeah,
how
so
that works?
there's a few components, and this has evolved over time. So the main thing is this auction system um, where customer can come in, they can say, I want leads in this location, and I'll pay you this much money. Another customer can come in, they can offer to pay more. So then in real time, when a lead comes into the system, as soon as it's generated, that lead will go to the highest bidder. Whoever's willing to pay the most for that lead. They've already paid, they have money sitting in a wallet, so we don't have to worry about a failed payment. So Juiced will take money out of their wallet and it'll send them the lead in in a matter of seconds, right? From when the lead is generated. Now they have the lead because they were the highest bidder. Um, Now the next highest bidder knows that they're not the highest bidder, so there's always that competitive element. We've seen pricing in the system get as high as $1,000 per lead, just because there was a bidding war going on in a certain city or something. Um, so crazy stuff like that can start to happen where you're just selling leads for a crazy amount of money, which by the way isn't always a great thing. If you're selling a lead for $1,000, the people tend to return those leads at a much higher rate than if they're just buying them for $200 a piece. So it is good to have some limit on how much you're going to let customers pay per lead. It doesn't help to sell a lead for $1,000 if it's going to be returned half the time, right?
Right.
Um, so anyway, so that's like the main component of the bidding system is that the lead will sell to the highest bidder. Now, we built that, that was working, and then we realized that, and always knew that we had these leads that weren't selling to anybody. Um, we have a minimum bid amount that people can pay. In our case, we set that at $200. That's going to be different for every industry. But we have in many parts of the country just people who aren't bidding. Nobody's bidding. So if a lead comes in that area, it would basically fall out of the bottom of the system. We had some partnerships where we'd send it to somebody and they'd kind of pay us if they were able to get a deal from that lead. So we were able to liquidate some of those leads to some extent, but it just was never ideal. So that's where we built in the reverse auction marketplace, where if a lead comes in, it doesn't have a buyer, it drops into our marketplace where it'll start out at a higher price, say $150 per lead. And then for the next 24 hours, every hour it drops in price. So in our case, it'll drop by $5 every hour. After 24 hours, it gets down to $35. Usually by then we have a buyer. Usually someone, even if they're across the country, a $35 lead in our industry is pretty attractive. So usually someone will buy it for at least $35. Or they may have bought it for $150 right when it dropped in the system. Maybe they paid $100 a little bit later on. As time goes on, the lead's a little less valuable because it'll be harder to get a hold of that person naturally.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So then, yeah, they're willing to pay something for that lead, and then we can liquidate that a little better than if we were trying to send the lead to a partner.
Yeah. So you got both ends of the market, people willing to pay a lot more for a good lead, and then you got people willing to wait, I guess, until the lead drops in value and they try and get a bargain, I guess,
Yep,
so to speak. Is that what you say?
yep, exactly. And some people, that's all they're buying are the bargain leads. Some people only want leads in a certain location, and if it's a competitive location, those leads are never going to end up on the marketplace. So they can never really get a bargain on the leads in some locations. So yeah, so we have the people bidding on the leads in those more
I
desirable
see.
locations,
Yep.
and yeah, so that's been really helpful to be able to serve both ends of the market.
Yeah. Yeah.
And really, a lot of people are attracted by the cheaper leads, and then a lot of people are just attracted by the volume of the leads and the quality of the leads, and knowing that they can get all of the leads if they're willing to pay the most for them.